Hey, I am, what is it? It's May 7th, so I'm in my 6th month of training. And yeah, I got past the 6 month, like, I don't know what the word is. There's a moment where, you just want to be done at the 6 months because initially the program says do it for at least 6 months. And Annie, the founder, healed in 6 months. So, there was a part of me that was like, all right, 6 months, let's do it. We're going to get it done. But I've come to a deeper place with just, I know that it's working. I've seen incredible shifts and I'm not going to stop. Certainly there is a sense of sort of frustration, because I want it to be done. Gosh. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? It's going to take as long as it's going to take, and I'd rather do it for real. And like truly heal and then be done with it. And by be done with it, it's really actually a shift in recognizing that it's like you're never, I don't think it's ever something that I'll be done with, because I think it's always going to be this way of like how I interact in the world, how I relate to the world and relate to myself in the world. But certainly being done with like, an hour a day rounds and like this sort of more structure. But what I did want to say today, because I'm rewatching the DVDs, I wanted to rewatch it once more just because I figured there was probably some stuff I missed. Actually, as I rewatch it though, I'm like, you know what? I got quite a lot the first time. Good work, brain. And I think I got quite a lot, but I also like have gotten more from just interacting in the forums and doing living DNRS and all these other additional things that have been really helpful to clarify the program. However, in the last day, she's talking about if you take nothing from what I've said, take this thing only. Think greater than how you feel. And she's like, I know you got much more than that, but if you can only take one thing, take this. And for whatever reason, I mean, like, I didn't forget about that sentence, but it just clicked for me what it actually means. Think greater than how you feel. Not do greater than how you feel. Think greater. And honestly, when I first heard that, it was triggering for me in a way, because it was like, there was that limbic part of me that was like that overwhelm part that is just like, I can't do more. Like if I feel something, I need to rest. I part of what got me into my state was pushing myself too hard. So this idea of, think greater than how you feel kind of was associated with the other saying that I've heard people say is feel the fear and do it anyway. And that's kind of like what incremental training is, except that incremental training is really nice and gentle, and you're able to go at your own pace in a way that feels safe for you. And you're still challenging yourself, but you're challenging yourself in a way that's still within your ability to navigate all the pops that come up as you challenge yourself. So I don't know. My brain, I guess, had just associated this think greater than how you feel as having to do when your body is saying no or something is saying no. But now I really understand that sentence, and I not only understand it, I have witnessed it, because I have been in my brain when something is happening and my brain wants to go down a particular path, and I just have to really be present with it and be like, it's okay, no. And when like 99%, it feels like, of my brain is like on a this boat of limbic impairment, and everything is like saying, don't like, I'm just trying to give an example. I'll give a recent example of something that happened. And it shows the level of training that my brain has been doing and how much progress I've made. And it also shows the thinking greater than how you feel. Because that's the thing about it is like, and I'm so grateful to like have it really click in, because it's like, listen, you don't have to do anything. If you are having a trigger, a pop, whatever, if you're experiencing something, okay, you don't have to do anything about that. You can acknowledge that you're having an experience. To deny it or to push it away actually just creates more tension and resistance. So, and that was one of the things when I first heard the sentence, is I was like, that just seems like you're denying what's happening. And it's not a denial. It's like both can be true. This idea that two things can be true. I think in a limbic mind, it's one or the other. And moving beyond the limbic impairment, multiple things can be true at the same time. And they can be simultaneously happening within your own brain. So, I might be having an experience. I might be having some its. I might be having a lot of different pops. And there's a part of my mind that can still think greater than that. You know, it can say things like, okay, but other people experience this and they're fine. That's a nice little reminder sometimes. Or just elevating my mood to like distract myself or to do something else or to find something to be grateful for. It's like I can hold those two states simultaneously. And eventually the state that when you're not like pushing the thing that's happening away, but you're also not diving into it to like ruminate on it and like fuel it up more. You're just like, okay, there you go. And then it's not getting any attention. So then it's like it has no purpose. And then your brain's like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's not important because this person keeps focusing on this. So, okay, let's do that. It's so funny. It's so simple, but gosh, when you're in it, it is very convincing, those pops and its that come up. Whew. So I'll give you the example. It was on Wednesday, this past Wednesday. Today is Friday, so it was a couple days ago. They were cleaning the carpets in my hallway. I'm in a condo. And I saw the sign up. They had put a little poster up. I saw it a couple weeks ago or something. And what was my first indication that I had shifted with this specifically was when I read it, I was like, oh, okay. I guess they're cleaning the carpets. And I carried on with my day. And then I'm like, whoa. Because in the past, oh man, just seeing that would have just started a whole bunch of anxiety and worries about, and then like mental preparation for it. And it's so funny because even as I just mentioned those things, because I'm still in training and I really, it's not helpful for me to be saying things like that, but I'm just saying, it's and stuff for explanation of the video. But it's so interesting because I already noticed my brain responding to that. It's still that pathway is like fresh in a way. But anyway, suffice it to say, it would have activated a lot of different pops in my mind, and which would have created me to engage in certain behaviors to keep myself safe and protect myself, or make plans for maybe I should not be here and how long is it going to last. Like I don't need to go into it all, nor would it serve my brain, but a lot of mental stuff would happen. And to indicate how very much it didn't matter to me, I didn't even register the date. I saw that it said Wednesday, but I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And last Wednesday, I was like, oh, I thought they were cleaning the carpets. And then I actually looked at the date. I'm like, oh, it's next Wednesday. Okay. And I was like, okay, I guess I like really didn't care because I didn't even look at the date. So Wednesday comes and I'm doing this volunteer thing that I'm doing on my computer, and so I'm like doing a thing, and then I start to smell the cleaning stuff, and remembering one of the things that I was told is to not only just be neutral about scents, like them, change the association. So I was like, it smells like, because for the record, I was noticing some thoughts, some pops come up and some its come up. Excuse me. And so I was like, it smells like this. It reminds me of climbing a lemon tree in Tanzania. And I don't know. I was just trying to think of other things that it reminded me of the smell of. And there was definitely like, there was a lot going on in my mind that I had to really be like, Jocelyn, you're okay. Think about the people cleaning that. They are around this stuff every day. This is their job, and they're okay. And so you're okay. And, it's all good. And I just had to keep reassuring myself. And I definitely, I had it's come up for sure. And then desires to like do things. Like I really wanted to put a towel under the door. I was like, let me just put a towel, which for the record, if I was like, it's okay to do that. If it's just completely out of your training zone, it's okay to do that. But I didn't want to do it sometimes. I think that's one of my things too, is like sometimes I might go too far out of my training zone because I can be like, well, that's what I said earlier, is like pushing myself was one of the things that got me in this to begin with, in a way. Or that was like my coping mechanism, was pushing myself. So anyway, I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to give the indication to my limbic system that we had anything to worry about, because we didn't. We really didn't have anything to worry about, and I just wanted Limby to know that it was all good. However, I did have my, what up, girl? That's my cat. I did have, what's it called? My mat wrapped up, folded by the door, like my, like a shoe mat or whatever. And I just like casually kicked it near the door. So it was like kind of blocking the door. I was like, okay, you know what? I'll allow that. Let me do that. And then I did open a couple windows. But I was thinking like, that's actually what you might do anyways in a situation like this. Like a normal person might open the window just to like get some airflow and stuff. It's not that absurd. So that I did. And then while I couldn't really stop and do a round because I was in the middle of volunteering. But I did kind of do one in my head a little bit, and I could already feel the shift of it. And yeah, after my volunteer session, now I can't remember, but I think I did a few other things, but then I eventually did a round again, and I felt really good. And then I ended up going for a run and playing soccer with some friends, and I just felt fine, and everything was good. I was fine. When I walked in the hallway, when I opened the door to walk in the hallway, definitely like noticed that there was a smell. Oh. But was we got all the things happening. My phone's ringing. Boo's coming in to say hi. Hi. How's it going? She's like, listen, I just wanted you to open my food up, so if you could just get my food organized and you can just go back to doing what you were doing, okay? Boo's like, that's not how I talk. No, she'll allow. Anyway, yeah, I mean, this is just amazing because, and I bring this up also because really when I was like at my volunteer gig, I was like in my head, like so, just like very much like really having to navigate what felt very real, like I'd be like, no, we're fine. And then it'd be like, yeah, but are you sure? Because da 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 la 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 la. And it just a new thing and it was like, I really had to just be like, no, like we're okay. And I just keep reminding myself the same things, like, this is a normal amount of exposure. There's nothing to be worried about. Like, it's all good. And they only clean this like once I don't know. This is the first time they've cleaned it, and I've been in this building for 7 months. So I imagine they do it maybe once or twice a year. Like, but those feelings are so convincing. The pops are so convincing. And so here we are with the think greater than how you feel. And it's so true, because then the its I was having were so convincing. And what's cool is like, okay, literally in the past, I would have had to go lie down. I would have probably been in bed I would have definitely felt hungover the next morning. I don't drink, but I would have felt hungover the next morning. That's the way I've described feeling in the past. Like, just, I mean, literally, that's how I remember feeling it when I was hungover. I probably would have been kind of like bedridden-ish for like 2-3 days, maybe, depending. Could have been more. It could have been a lot more, actually, because carpet-based stuff I had some experiences in the past with that, and so there was a pretty strong association. And so the fact that like wasn't even 24/7 processed, it was processed by the afternoon, and I was fine. And I mean, that's so cool. So yeah, well, there's Boo's Paw. She's like, I have a question. Can I ask a question? Oh yeah, I have a question again. Never mind. It's okay. Actually, maybe I'll just ask one quick question. No, she does this really cute thing with her paws where she goes, and that's what's happening right now. And here she is, being a cute cuddle queen. So this is basically just turned into a cat video, because obviously, show the people what they want to see. Obviously, it's a cat. Anyway, think greater than how you feel. I get it now. I really get it. And it's funny, because even though you think you know, those its and pops are still super convincing. So you just have to, you just take whatever you can take to believe beyond what you're experiencing. And that's the ticket home, man.